What I'm about to tell you, chosen one, will permanently alter your life. It is no coincidence that you are now seeing this video. This is a divine message of change, and God has sent you here for a purpose. It is no longer your responsibility to fight from now on. God Himself is taking control of your riches and success. Therefore, your financial problems are about to come to an end. Those who formerly made fun of you for your lack will soon realize that God is showing the world how wealthy you really are, and the plenty you have been hoping for is coming. Nothing will stop the gifts that are already coming your way. This is your time and your season. To help us achieve 20,000 subscribers, please press the like button, make a comment with the number 99, and subscribe before we go further into this profound insight. This number will intensify the message of wealth and bring strong energy into your life. Your soul already understands that this truth is for you. Therefore, if you are really a chosen one, you will stick with me through everything. Your life is going to alter in ways you can't possibly fathom, so be ready. Every trip has a turning point when the blessings start and the difficulty ends. The burden of money no longer rests on those who have been selected by God. He has a responsibility now. The universe's creator, who has planned every second of your existence, has assured you that there will always be enough. This is a divine assurance rather than just a desire or hope. Your success is built on the unwavering foundation of God's faithfulness, not on your own hard work or hustling. Consider a river that never runs out of water. No matter how much is taken from it, it always replenishes itself. God's provision for you is like that. You are destined to have a prosperous life as His chosen one, because He has promised to support you indefinitely, not because of your hard work. This divine obligation is evidence of His steadfast devotion to His word. It's time to put an end to our struggles and begin to have faith in God's provision and this unbreakable bond. Your requirements have already been satisfied, so you may relax. You are now walking in the assurance of His provision, rather than being vulnerable to life's uncertainties. You will find a calm that beyond all comprehension when you accept the fact that your wealth is a sign of His love for you. This serenity comes from knowing that your future is safely in His hands, not only from the plenty that awaits you. Something changed the instant you embraced your divine calling. You transitioned from a life of hardship to one of divine provision. You've outlived the days of fighting scarcity, pushing yourself to the bone and being afraid of the unknown. You are already experiencing the wealth of God's promises in your life. With God's mercy and favor, what seemed like an endless uphill trek has become a smooth downhill journey. It is more than simply material richness when you enter this divine abundance. It's about an overflow that affects your relationships, your health, and your purpose in life. Wealth is the richness of life that God wants for you, not just having money. You will experience the pleasure and serenity that come from being blessed by God when you accept this reality. It completely changes the way you think and how you perceive things. It was God's perfect will, not your power or abilities, that selected you for greatness. You no longer have your share of the battle. Divine riches that beyond your wildest expectations is what awaits you right now. Let go of the burdens of the past and have faith in this new reality. The moment has come for you to get what has always been yours. According to God, confidence comes from knowing that you are backed by a force bigger than yourself, rather than from being self-sufficient. You navigate life with an unwavering certainty that all you need will be provided when you accept the faith of divine supply. The future is no longer a mystery to you. You can be confident that God will always be kind and that He will keep His word in your life. Imagine a child's assurance that their parents would always take care of them. This youngster isn't concerned about where they'll get their next meal or whether they'll have a place to live. As you enter the abundance that God has reserved for you, you are encouraged to embrace this kind of confidence. Your heart will be filled with the same confidence and security which will make every action you perform simpler, lighter, and more tranquil. To have faith in God's provision is to live without fear or uncertainty. It entails having faith in God's time and His ways, even when the way forward seems unclear. You may release the tension once you realize that He is your supplier. That results from attempting to influence every possible outcome. Now that you know that God's plan is always flawless and working out for your benefit, you may live with confidence. You won't have to work non-stop to make ends meet anymore. From now on, God is in charge of riches. All you have to do is submit to His plan and have faith in His timetable. God will have more room to do His miracles in your life the more you let go of the weight of attempting to manage your financial destiny. This is an active faith approach, not a passive one, where you believe that God will open doors to success beyond your wildest expectations as you go ahead in obedience. The universe was created by God, who also spoke the stars into being. If He can do such amazing things, He can undoubtedly meet all of your needs. Nothing is too big for God to manage, even the money and assets you need to achieve your goals. You will start to see how everything comes together to provide you with what you need at the exact moment you need it, as you move into this reality. Knowing that God is in charge of money relieves you of the need to solve every problem on your own. You may concentrate on believing and carrying out your calling rather than fretting about how you'll make it happen. You may anticipate having more than enough to live a life of influence and plenty when God takes responsibility for your wealth. Now is the moment to dispel any uncertainty you may have over your financial future. God is not a guy who should tell lies, and He keeps His word. You may be certain that He will find a way if He has called you to live abundantly. Your aspirations are not too lofty for God, and you may achieve your objectives. In the spiritual world, things that seem unattainable in the natural world are already done. God's plan for you involves a riches that will be beyond your wildest dreams, so there's no need to disbelieve it. Financial success is a concept that many people find difficult to grasp because they think it is only for a chosen few, or that they are somehow undeserving of immense fortune. However, you have been selected. Greatness is your destiny. You will get riches that will help you achieve your life's mission in addition to benefiting you personally. God will make sure you have the means to fulfill your mission, whether it is to assist people, fund charitable endeavors, or create something that transforms the world. Miracles are possible the instant you put doubt out of your thoughts. You will see more of God's promises being fulfilled in your life the more you match your thinking with them. You are not destined to suffer or live in poverty. Financial abundance is part of God's plan for you, and it will come to you in ways you never imagined. Accept the fact that God is going to make you a billionaire and let go of any uncertainty. The knowledge that God will provide is really powerful. It makes you feel secure, at ease, and certain that nothing in this world can take it away. You may live a happy, free life, free from anxiety and fear, when you know that your needs will be satisfied. Knowing that God's supply is constantly at your fingertips changes the way you live and gives you the confidence to take risks. This trust is grounded on God's promises and experience, rather than being blind. Consider all the instances in the past when He has supplied for you, including every breakthrough, prayer answered, and miracle. God will continue to provide for you, as shown by those instances, which were not coincidences but rather divine providence. The more you think about this concept, the more you may use it as a basis for your life. You may proceed with assurance when you know that God will supply. You don't need to worry about the future or be afraid of the unknown. Your life has already been prearranged by the universe's creator, who has paved the route for your success. You can overcome any obstacle with this awareness, knowing that God's provision will see you through it. People may unavoidably doubt, ridicule, or criticize your accomplishment as you start to live out your divine prosperity. Let me clarify, though. They are not a concern of yours. You cannot let other people's thoughts or ideas affect what God has promised you. No one can take away your abundance, which is evidence of God's faithfulness. No one can curse you if you are blessed by God. It's simple to lose hope when others make fun of your goals or downplay your accomplishments. But keep in mind that they do not control your destiny. No human perspective can change the fact that God exists and has prophesied success over your life. Your success and prosperity are evidence of His favor and His provisional capacity. In times of ridicule or uncertainty, rise above. Remain focused on God's promises, and keep in mind that the blessings you are experiencing are a testament to His kindness and power, not just for you. Your abundance will speak for itself as you ascend above the cacophony, drowning out any obstacle in your path. God's plan for you is one of everlasting richness that will endure for generations to come, not a band-aid solution. You do not need to always strive for this divine success. When you walk in accordance with God's will, it comes to you. You must put out effort by believing and obeying, not by straining or battling. The wealth will come once you accomplish it. The world teaches you that perseverance and hard work are the keys to success. Although diligence has its merits, God has a different plan for you. It's about believing that He will deliver the increase and resting in His provision. Your life will overflow with benefits when you live in accordance with His purpose, and you will be in a position to accept all He has promised without being too exhausted in the process. The greatest kind of freedom is this type of divine provision. You no longer need to worry about where the next blessing will come from, or live in fear of scarcity. The eternal wealth that God has planned for you is reflected in your life, a riches that surpasses what the material world can provide. It's time to totally accept that this is what God has planned for you. Wealth is a tool to help you achieve your divine mission, not merely for your own delight. Remind yourself that great wealth entails great responsibility as you enter the abundance that God has promised you. This duty is a privilege rather than a burden. You have the opportunity to change the world, change lives, and leave a legacy for generations to come. Your riches serves as a vehicle for advancing God's kingdom and enabling others to enjoy the same benefits that you have. In ways that nothing else can, wealth, when used properly, can change communities, mend families, and spread love. This is how divine prosperity really works. The lives you can impact and the good you can accomplish in the world are more important than the possessions you can purchase or the kind of life you can lead. Your money will have a deeper meaning when you accept this duty, and you will feel really fulfilled. Your heavenly treasure is supposed to be shared. You will get more if you offer more. The adage, "What you sow, you reap," is the foundation of plenty. You will experience an even bigger flow of benefits if you utilize your wealth to further God's kingdom and help others. You have been selected to utilize your fortune to achieve a greater good, and you will enjoy the satisfaction that comes with leaving a lasting impression. A concrete expression of God's faithfulness to you is when you start to feel heavenly wealth. His promises are firm, unwavering realities that never falter. They are not just platitudes. You are receiving more than just financial gain as you enter the plenty He has planned for you. You are also learning more about His love and faithfulness. Every benefit you get is a sign of God's constant nature and His determination to see you prosper. Think about the occasions in your life when you've seen God come through for you. Maybe it was a moment when you felt absolutely powerless, and He offered a remedy beyond anything you could have anticipated. Or maybe it was in the simple daily mercies that serve as reminders that He is constantly with you. Divine wealth isn't simply about the huge accomplishments. It may be found in the steady, constant supply that demonstrates God's unwavering faithfulness. Your heart is filled with wonder and thankfulness when you recognize that the riches you're enjoying is a gift from God, rather than something you earned. It causes you to see things differently. from effort to grace, from trying to receiving. Because God is trustworthy, you can trust that this heavenly riches will continue to pour into your life both now and in the future. You realize that all you have is a consequence of God's fidelity to His Word. There may be some who question your achievement or even make fun of your newfound blessings as you accept the rich life that God has for you. The fact is, however, that they are unable to touch what God has blessed. The prosperity God has planned for you cannot be lessened by any amount of criticism, condemnation, or derision. No one can oppose His favor once it has been placed in your life. It's not about proving others incorrect, which is the beauty of heavenly plenty. It has to do with carrying out the mission that God has for you. Your success and riches will be self-evident. Eventually, those who formerly made fun of you will be amazed by what God has accomplished in your life. They will realize that it was always about the heavenly favor bestowed upon you, not your own skills. Your achievement will eventually serve as evidence to them of God's kindness and His capacity to change people's lives. Keep in mind that those who criticize often do so because of their own fears or misconceptions. Your world is not defined by their viewpoints. The Word of God does. Thus, don't allow anyone's negative influence you, and remain steadfast in His promises. The mockers will eventually go as you live in the fullness of God's blessing, leaving behind the indisputable evidence of God's favor in your life. To live in the fullness of God's provision is to live life as it was intended to be, plentiful, tranquil, and devoid of want. This is a profound, all-encompassing sense of being, rather than only a surface-level sensation. You're flourishing, not simply getting by. God's abundant supply affects all aspects of your life, including your relationships, money, health, and goals. It's everything under God's hand. It takes time for God's supply to become fully available. It's a path of increasing reliance and confidence in Him. You will start to see more and more proof of God's concern for you as your faith deepens. You will see possibilities that seem too good to be true, doors that open effortlessly, and amazing breakthroughs. However, because God is dependable and has a complete life in store for you, they will come to pass. Knowing that God will provide for all of your needs and more is what it means to be full, not having everything you want. There is no fear of lack when you live in the abundance of His provision. Knowing that your Creator is walking with you and providing for you in ways you cannot understand allows you to face each day with a heart full of thankfulness. God has called you to live this life, one that is filled with pleasure, serenity, and plenty. Achieving financial success doesn't need making a bold leap into the unknown. Rather, it involves taking a confident stride with the knowledge that God will be by your side the whole while. Knowing that everything you need for success is already en route to you is known as divine certainty. You don't have to question whether you're headed in the correct direction or if things will turn out well. God has already gone before you, so you may go on with complete assurance. Walking in God's favor naturally leads to wealth. As long as you stay true to Him, it follows you rather than being something you seek. You will start to see how everything comes together flawlessly, naturally, and in accordance with His divine plan as you go ahead and put your faith in His supply. Your prosperity is a powerful testament to God's steadfast responsibility to care for His chosen ones, and it goes beyond just being a personal gift. Each and every income, benefit, and resource that enters your life is proof that God is keeping His word to you. It serves as a reminder to the world that His word cannot make up for emptiness, and a live, breathing testament to His faithfulness. You are living as a witness to others, as well as for yourself as you enter your divine riches. Your life will provide as indisputable evidence to others that God exists and fulfills His promises. Your accomplishment will encourage others to put their faith in Him and think that they, too, may benefit from His provision. Your life turns into a ray of hope, a brilliant illustration of what occurs when we put our faith in God's provision for us. This testimony is for future generations as well as for the present. Your family and community's future will be shaped for years to come by the money you acquire. You will leave behind a legacy of plenty, trustworthiness, and the indisputable fact that God is a provider who never fails to fulfill His promises. You have been selected for greatness, and God bestows greatness onto you. It is not something that can be acquired. You are no longer subject to the trials, disappointments, or problems of the past. Any unfavorable memories or ideas that could be preventing you from moving on should be let go. You are not defined by your history. God has a plan for your life. There are obstacles on the path to greatness, but there is also a lot of supernatural support. You create space for the abundance of God's gifts to enter your life when you let go of the burdens of the past. Even if your past is full with conflicts, your future is full of triumphs. Now is the moment to accept the greatness reserved for you. Step into the grandeur that God has planned for you and embrace your divine calling. The restrictions of your past no longer apply to you. You have the freedom to confidently enter the future He has planned for you. A future full of success, meaning, and a life that exudes His glory. Nothing can stop you from rising to the occasion. Divine prosperity is a promise that never expires, not only a fleeting sensation. It is a gift that is unbounded by human constraints and flows freely and continually. Accepting this promise opens the door to an infinite and endless world of riches. There are no limits to God's provision for you. In terms of material, emotional, or spiritual richness, He has assured you that you will have everything you need and more. Imagine the ocean's immensity, its boundless vitality. That's how your life is affected by God's provision. An incalculable and limitless resource. It never runs out. You begin to realize that there are no limits to your achievement or obstacles to your advancement. As you embrace this divine promise, the wealth that God has planned for you is much greater than the benefits you now enjoy. Every second is a chance for more to enter your life. You are not bound by the constraints of the world when you live in divine abundance. The concepts of plenty and overflow govern God's kingdom, while the systems of lack and scarcity govern the rest of the world. As a child of God, you have this heritage, which is not just for you but also for everyone around you. Your success is supposed to ripple out and have a significant influence on your family, community, and the whole globe. Having worldly belongings is just one aspect of this heavenly richness. Another is leading a life in which all of your bodily, emotional, and spiritual needs are met. Every aspect of your life is impacted by God's wealth, which enriches you in ways you cannot fathom. Furthermore, your potential is indeed boundless since His riches is endless. Accept this reality now and let the overflow to start. You start living a life that far beyond your expectations when you give yourself permission to completely appreciate the splendor of God's provision. Your fantasies become actual blessings, and what you previously believed was unattainable suddenly becomes your reality. God's provision goes beyond just providing for your necessities. It includes providing you with more than enough to have an exceptionally fulfilling and purposeful life. We often set boundaries for ourselves based on what we feel is achievable or what we believe we deserve. However, we enter a world of benefits beyond our wildest expectations when we let go of these constraints and put our faith in God's provision. God wants to bless you abundantly so that you might benefit others, not merely to provide for your needs. His provision is intended to launch you into your destiny in a way that surpasses anything you could have ever imagined. Aligning with God's intention for your life is the direct cause of this abundance. It is not a coincidence. The more you believe Him, the more He lets you take advantage of chances and open doors that are beyond your wildest dreams. God's supply always surpasses your expectations, whether they are related to financial triumphs, professional progress, or personal development. He is an abundant God, and your richness reveals His splendor. When we stop struggling and begin to trust, we will see the full splendor of God's provision. We discover that what He has in store for us is much greater than we could have ever dreamed when we submit our ideas to His will. It's a life filled with pleasure, joys, and surprises that keep strengthening your trust in His kindness and provision. The benefits you've been waiting for will start to come to you in a natural and miraculous way as you enter a new season. This is a time of miraculous supply and plenty rather than hardship or lack. You will start to experience an abundance of benefits that seem to come out of nowhere when you align yourself with God's purpose for your life. God's hand is at work on your behalf, directing events, creating opportunities, and bestowing rewards in a manner that only He can. Financial achievement is just one aspect of the divine flow of benefits. Receiving favor in all facets of your life, including your relationships, health, and purpose, is the goal. Your travel will be blessed in every way by God. You start this flow by making a little mental adjustment. You may experience a spiritual outpouring that will affect every aspect of your life once you acknowledge that abundance is your heritage and begin to live in it. Consider the flow of a river. Everything they come into contact with is given life by them. God's blessings will come to you in this manner. You'll discover that the benefits are not just for you, but are intended to spill over into other people's life as you allow yourself to be receptive. Your life becomes a living example of God's grace when you enter into this flow, which is a vessel for His kindness. Accept this new season with the knowledge that you don't need to struggle to get the rewards. They are a natural outcome of your life being blessed by God. The extraordinary flow of God's gifts will take you to places you never would have imagined as you walk in obedience and faith. This is the time of year when God provides abundantly. Give it your whole attention and allow it to change every aspect of your life. Unseen doors of opportunity that God has prepared to open for you are paved along the path to heavenly prosperity. These opportunities are hidden from view, but when you act in accordance with God's purpose, He will make them apparent when the time is appropriate. When you believe God, He will guide you to the doors that will permanently alter your life, even if the road to success isn't always obvious at first. Opportunities that you could never have planned or envisioned on your own are waiting for you. It might be an unexpected collaboration, an investment opportunity, or a job offer. These doors, however, are not arbitrary. They are the result of divine planning. God is setting you up for success, and these chances will not only benefit you, but also provide you the tools you need to help others. Consider the biblical tale of Joseph. He had difficulties and hardships, but God used them to provide opportunities that allowed him to ascend to prominence in Egypt. Your life's doors of opportunity often come after times of trial, just as Joseph's, but you are always being guided by God's hand. He will open doors to prosperity, success, and meaning when you stay committed and have confidence in His time. Accept the invisible and realize that there is a divine chance waiting for you to overcome every obstacle. Those doors will open wide as long as you hold tight to your faith, and you will enter a future of boundless affluence. God has a far bigger purpose for you than you can ever fathom, and He is always at work in the background to bring about your breakthrough. Acquiring money for the sake of luxury or prestige is not what true wealth is all about. It's about making a significant difference in the world by using your blessings. God has a much greater plan for your riches than you do. He will demonstrate to you how to utilize your riches to serve others, advance His kingdom, and carry out your greater purpose as you live in divine wealth. Your wealth should be used for good, as a means of helping and encouraging others in ways that are a reflection of God's generosity and compassion. Every money you get and every resource you have at your disposal is a chance to change things. Your money is intended to be shared, whether it be via charitable giving, aiding those in need, or funding an endeavor that advances God's work. God bestows blessings on you so that you might benefit others in addition to yourself. God rewards those who utilize their money to serve His objectives. Thus, the more you give, the more you will gain. Your life will take on new significance as you utilize your fortune to change the world. Now, it's more important to accomplish the divine purpose for which you were formed than it is to just accumulate more. Since true riches is in line with God's plan for your life, it gives happiness, contentment, and tranquility. Your blessings are intended to contribute to something much greater than yourself, and you are a part of a larger design. This kind of riches has the power to change not only your life, but also the lives of others. When you utilize it for good, it's a riches that grows. God will increase your rewards the more you invest in others, starting a circle of influence and wealth that will continue for many generations. You may access the prosperous seasons that God has planned for your life when you align yourself with His timing, which is flawless. There may be periods in your life when nothing seems to be happening. Then all of a sudden, blessings start to flow in and the floodgates of supply open. God's time is responsible for this. Everything falls into place when you are at the right place, at the right moment, with the right heart.